What's up, guys, and welcome back to the SLI League Invitational. We have more South American qualifiers. This is game 2 in the best of 3 between Mad Kings and Infamous. And hey, I didn't know you could actually see the score ticks. Is that new? I think that must be new. But as you can see, Infamous are up one game. It was a tinker game and it was a massacre. It wasn't pretty. So we'll see if Mad Kings can recover. I'm Mike Loris, going to be your caster for this game. And much like last game, they're taking their sweet time with these bans. You know what? You can just like ban Necrophos and then like take a Spirit Breaker and do stuff like that, or you could be very patient. In the last game, Mad Kings kind of stumbled in the early game, and that kind of snowballed into just a lack of game. Like they didn't do anything in the last game, which is really a problem. Like they lost, yes, but they lost tremendously and really slowly also. Like it was one of those 1,000 cut type of losses. So this is definitely a situation where they have to kind of refresh their minds. It was a little bit of a break between this game and the last. So, you know, maybe they took that time to do whatever they do, and maybe their minds are refreshed now. If they're not, they're going to be in for a lot of trouble, because Infamous put on an absolute clinic in the last game. The bans are out. Necrophos is going to get the boot. Night Stalker as well. Who do we still have? We've seen teams prioritize Nyx a lot less. I think it's still pretty strong, but Spirit Breaker, Shadow Shaman, these supports are still at a pretty high premium right now.
5 seconds
Puck, we've seen occasional Dazzle first picks as well. The world is your oyster. What's it going to be? We've seen Venomancer also. You know, in the list of like super viable heroes, I go through, I mean, I told you all the ones that go through my head. Venomancer doesn't like quite get there yet. I know he is good. I know he is very, very, very good. But it's just not on my mental list. Maybe I'll have to add that. And of course, last game, Venomancer, handled by Mad Kings and did really well in lane, but ended up doing pretty much nothing after that. Just constantly trying to push by himself, constantly getting picked off. Not exactly what you want to be doing. But still, the greatest reason to pick up Venomancer is to get that magic damage out and to make sure that you have just a really, really strong laner.
10 seconds
We saw Venomancer put a clinic on the Lycan in the last game, so you know, maybe the Venomancer will do something similar this game for Infamous, except also will have some sort of late game impact. Because again, the Venomancer of last game, really good start and then absolutely nothing. And it's possible the Venomancer runs into a couple of problems here. There are just a handful of silences on the other end as Mad Kings grab the Bloodseeker very early along with that silencer. Now, this is, I like the silencer up against the Venomancer. I think that's fine. Just go with it. Silencer has weaknesses for sure. Very fragile, very easy to kill. No stuns or anything like that early on. And his lane control is not really good if he's actually fighting in the lane. But, you know, I think it's fine enough, and especially up against this Earthshaker now, should be all well and good. But then we have this early Bloodseeker, and first of all, I'm not a huge fan of this early Bloodseeker, period. I think the hero is strong, but really needs to be 4th or 5th picked. Otherwise, you'll run into some problems like we saw in the last game. And like we saw in the last game, Mad Kings picked up the Bloodseeker and then got absolutely dumpstered. Like, they got just destroyed in lane, and are they really super eager to run that back? Like, if I got destroyed as any hero, I would not want to play that hero for game 2. Maybe he'll do a little bit better now, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be incredibly likely. So just them sticking to their guns, I guess, has its merits. I assume it's just, you know, something that Mad Kings really like to do. Maybe SNK just loves that Bloodseeker. Maybe he actually can't play anything but that Bloodseeker. Who knows? But it's a really, really bold move going in with a hero that you just got thrashed with. Now, right now, the Bloodseeker doesn't really have anything huge to worry about. The stuns from Earthshaker are problematic for sure. Damage over time on the Venomancer, something that Bloodseeker, perhaps more than other heroes, can get around by virtue of having that heal. So he does have some pretty nice assets for the team right now. And of course, that's a big Circle of Silence. Great up against Shaker and Venomancer. But I am mostly concerned with Bloodseeker in lane, because it was not pretty
10 seconds
in game 1. Mad Kings ban out Puck and Earth Spirit. Lots of silences, lots of initiation type heroes being kicked out by the Mad Kings side. And Infamous doing kind of the same, but a little bit more on that single target basis. And this is something that Mad Kings may struggle with this opening. How do they actually start fights? Infamous do have a fissure, which is like not the best. They'll have a blink shaker eventually. They will have that to kind of lean on. And it looks like Mad Kings, they will still get Initiator in the Clockwork. Not super premium, but still is strong in what he needs to do. So that's up really well for the Bloodseeker. Like once you do hookshot in, you will be hard pressed to miss that Blood Right. And once you hookshot in, you'll most likely also pop the Global Silence. So the initiation style of Mad Kings now, very strong, very sudden. And Infamous may struggle to deal with that. There are very few heroes that can purge themselves off, purge silence off themselves, and actually do something about this Mad King's initiation. Now what Infamous can do is just look to out-initiate and just get the jump first and force the Silencer to use the Global Silence in a defensive fashion. Infamous can go very single target heavy and make it a question as to whether or not a Global Silence is necessarily worth it for that given gank. They definitely have options to work around this, but in this game, if Mad Kings are at some way decent farm, and if they get the initiation, it'll be hard, really hard for Infamous to play this game, especially now that they pick up a Dazzle. So this Dazzle is going to have some problems, right? I just mentioned, like, everyone on Infamous, they are going to be feeling the wrath that Global Silence game is hard. Dazzle is really, really tough to play when you're silenced, and it's really, really hard to get enough gold to buy something like a Yule Scepter or a Lotus to unsilence yourself, or a Guardian Greaves or something along those lines. So Dazzle is going to be potentially really tough to play. Now what the Dazzle does have working for him is the fact that you will be able to kind of facilitate some very aggressive early game plays as a team to maybe try to go around that. It's definitely a possibility with the Dazzle because you do get that extra sustain, but it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to make happen unless the Dazzle is partnered up with some type of aggressive hero that can set up for that Shadow Wave damage afterwards. Old combo is the Shadow Demon. You're looking at Sand King, any kind of melee hero that can hug the enemy and make sure that you do get those that Shadow Wave damage going is going to let Infamous do quite a bit. The Mad Kings grab a Mirana now, going for just overloaded in initiation, and it's going to be hard for Infamous to respond to this. Yes, they do have the Grave, and yes, that is very powerful up against whoever is going to get arrowed or ruptured or whatever. But Mad Kings, they do have a lot of options, a lot of single target options, so expect the way the team fights are going to play out for Mad Kings is find someone with a hookshot, rupture, or arrow, and then hopefully for them, they'll be able to take down not only that hero, but also one other hero in the duration of that Global Silence, or at least get a decisive enough lead, because if they fail to get those kills, that's when the Nova comes in. That's when the Earthshaker, who hopefully for Infamous isn't caught, will be able to reinitiate with the Echo Slam, and then things get pretty darn bad. So they really have to make sure that they are making their initiation really clean and really quick, because if it takes too long, you're going to run into some serious problems. Now this is all going to work out fairly well, assuming Storm, really. Assuming Infamous don't just run over them in the lanes, which is what we saw in the last game. You never know. Like, all these plans can just be thrown in the garbage if Infamous thrash their lanes, and when you're looking at Earthshaker, who might be going towards the off lane, and Venomancer, who might be going towards safe lane, Storm Spirit, who almost assuredly is going towards the mid lane, you may run into some pretty big issues. Now, of course, Earthshaker may be supporting, in which case it'll be a little bit less of an aggressive early game, but still the threat is there. Storm Spirit's a pretty interesting one. It is a hero that is pretty nice anti-rupture, but he kind of gets just annihilated by Global Silence. Cog's very annoying for him as well, but Mad Kings, they are kind of clunky with their single target. Like Clockwork, Mirana, they can land their stuns if they're from Fog or if they have a good angle, but in the midst of a fight, really tough to make sure you are able to easily chain stun a Storm Spirit. So yeah, the silences on Mad Kings, mostly from the Silencer, go figure, may end up not being quite enough to deal with Storm Spirit, especially since Storm Spirit, as a hero, is able to initiate and almost 100% of the time get the kill by himself on the hero that he initiates on, unless there's a lot of help there. Like, there's Moonlight Shadow, there's Hookshot, which cuts through BKB, but if Storm Spirit sees the Silencer, and if he jumps in on the Silencer, I don't know if it's possible to react that fast unless you see it coming with observers. You will run the risk of just losing your Silencer right off the bat, and once that happens, the fight is pretty much just over from the Mad King side. Again, unless they're just mad farms, more so than Infamous, which is, again, a possibility, I suppose. Clinks was banned out. Anti-Mage banned out as well. Infamous, they are going to go for the Sven. The Rogue Knight. Sven for the safe lane. It looks like Venomancer will take a little bit of farm towards bottom. And what the what? We got a Huskar in the last slot. Well, this is going to make Mad King's draft perform slightly differently here. Now, as you all know, guys, Huskar is a really, really good hero when he has a safe hero with him. And the Dazzle and the Huskar are actually on different sides, you know that? So this is potentially going to be a little bit of an issue for that hero. Now, what the Huskar does have working for him is the fact that, you know, there's a lot of magic damage on the Infamous side. Storm, Veno, Earthshaker. You'll be able to get some pretty nice Berserker blood value defensively. It's not that bad. And also lets Mad Kings kind of diversify. It gives them the chance of just insta-winning the game if the Huskar has a pretty good start. It gives them kind of a tank to rally around so that he can survive a little while longer, and Silencer can, you know, maybe set up for a little bit of a better global silence timing-wise, or you could set up for a better arrow, or you could choose a target more carefully with Rupture. But despite that, I feel like this Huskar is kind of not really what they want to be doing. If it was not Sven for Infamous and if it was Huskar in that box, then I would be totally on board, man. You got the Dazzle, you got the Storm Spirit for initiation. The enemy team isn't super overloaded with physical damage. Yeah, go for it. But this game, Huskar, circles maybe run around the Huskar. He is going to be eventually forced to go up against the Sven. And it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad even if they have equal farm. God Strength, 1 shot, or maybe 2 with an Echo Saber, which is definitely a possibility. And Huskar is going to be hurting, so I am not sure if I like this Huskar pick as last. But it's a Huskar, right? This is the type of hero that can completely take control of any given game, with some maybe exceptions. Like, you don't pick Huskar into an Ancient Apparition. It's a bad idea, but this is definitely a game where he can, if he's just farming kills, farming creeps, and doing everything right, just win the game for the Mad King side. It's going to be tough, though. We'll see if they can do it. Infamous are already a game up. They're going to put Excel on the Dazzle. Papita is on the off-lane Venomancer Leo style. Going to be handling that Storm Spirit. We got Stinger on the Shaker. And over towards the bottom lane, it's going to be... He changed his name, right? Well, it's K... now. So that happened. It was definitely a different name before, right? I'm not crazy. Mad Kings, though, they're going to put Sword on the Mirana. SNK once again on the Bloodseeker. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Sladden is on the Clock. Got Staden Nadler on the Huskar and Moger on the Silencer. But I mentioned earlier, Silencer, you have a chance of, or Bloodseeker rather, you have a chance of going off in the game, but you also are just getting off of a game where you got dumpstered by Leo style. Now, Storm Spirit doesn't have quite as much like super aggro power versus the Bloodseeker as a Tinker does, because the Storm Spirit crucially is missing blind. So no matter what, you'll be able to hit creeps, and it may or may not be what you want to be doing. Also on top of that, you know that the enemy supporting crew is Shaker and Dazzle. Shaker and Dazzle is definitely not Night Stalker. They are not the type of hero that can camp in the mid lane and make sure you don't get anything at all. So this Bloodseeker most likely is going to be, well, I was going to say in a 1v1 matchup, but looks like he's going to be in a decent matchup pretty much no matter what. Even if Shaker does rotate in, and it looks like Shaker is in fact doing that. He doesn't really have much game versus the Bloodseeker. Good luck trying to hit a Bloodseeker with 4-man shield as a Shaker. It will not go well for you. 2v2 lane over in mid for right now. Let's take a quick look at the more boring lanes. Mirana, once she gets that leap, should be just fine. Looks like she's been forced to level up pretty early. Poison Touch, Hammer, it's a decent amount of damage for sure, but nothing that Mirana can't handle. She has enough regen, she has enough stats to maybe sneak in some of those last hits. Not going to be the end of the world. Papita on the top lane is going to be in for a situationally really bad lane. Now, Silencer, again, doesn't really have that much to help out Huskar here. Offensively, it's kind of mediocre. You can poke at the Venomancer occasionally, but Huskar pretty much has this lane on lock just by himself. He'll just run at you, Burning Spear spam, rinse, repeat forever until the Venomancer is dead or you're dead. Leo style, though, going in deep for SNK. Another static. Remnant's coming up, and I think that should be the kill. One more shot. It's good. Leo Style is going to get a solo kill, first blood, on the enemy Bloodseeker. And this is what Papita has to deal with pretty much the entire game. He'll be fine though, he's a Venomancer. But this is like what I was talking about, right? Like, you just get dumpstered by Leo Style and Stinger in the last game as Bloodseeker, and then you just decide to run it back? Heavy risk. Heavy risk. And no prize. Very, very little prize. I don't think Bloodseeker is worth that much of a prize. We'll see what Leo Style can do. He ran last game. And Storm Spirit, much like a Tinker, is capable of just running a game by himself. Like, it doesn't even matter if Sven just suddenly gets no farm. Storm Spirit can handle the game by himself, especially if he gets that good of a start. We can see the difference, though, even though he did get that that very nice solo kill and first blood is, well, first of all, Papita's going to die up towards top lane. That's my bad, guys. The Bloodseeker's still getting CS. Last game, it was Leo Style with kills and all the CS. This time, it is just him with kills. So Bloodseeker's still getting farm. He still should be relevant moving forward. Oh, slide in. He's going to get hit with a huge Shadow Wave. Oh my god. Battery Salt's also being split by so many creeps, and there is a Sven here with a hammer, as well as a Shaker to cut off the passage out of there. So, where are you going, Clockwork? Dead? Dead. Mirana is farming with Arrow in the meantime on the creeps. She'll be fine. But giving a creep wave a hug up against a Dazzle is, let's say, ill-advised. Rough time to be a Clock in the bottom lane. Rough time to be a Bloodseeker as well. Fissure's going to wall him off. He does have Blood Rage on him, so he's taking quite a bit of damage, but there's no mana on Leo Style. It's like, yeah, Courier is kind of got his hands full in the base, so SNK going to survive for a little while more on this lane. But is at that point in HP where he has to be concerned about getting close for creeps. They are coming towards him, which is kind of nice, but you gotta be careful. You're taking a lot of damage there, bro. Pepita's not getting a lot of cash here. It's hard to get in range of the creep wave against a Huskar. Or against a Silencer, let alone both. Bloodright. Look at all the sick damage from Bloodright. Love one spell.
Go for me.
And Bloodseeker is not doing the greatest, but he's doing a lot better than the last game. Considering the matchups, considering his death, you could be doing a lot worse here. Bottom lane Clockwork on the roam, trying his best to do what he can. Really tough to handle up against these heroes. You know you're going to face into Shadow Wave. They don't know if there's a grave here on the Dazzle, and oh, he's walking into the creep wave again. This heal bomb's going to hurt so much. Half HP immediately gone. Fissure to wall him off further. And again, this Clockwork just goes in way too far. Stinger can't, so he actually doesn't have Enchant Totem, so he can't further stun up Sword. But I don't know why you would do that twice. Literally walked into an entire creep wave against a Dazzle. And Clockwork's really lucky that wasn't a level 2 Shadow Wave. He would have been taken down to like a third of his HP in one spell cast, but he's dead. He's dead either way, and I don't even think Stinger was needed there to solidify that kill. Game is tough. Game's about to be a little bit tougher. The Soul Ring on the Storm. His bottle isn't on him right now, but he is level 6. Which means that the Bloodseeker's going to have to be a little more cautious. Bloodseeker, though, is level 6 himself, and he has a pretty good ultimate. Rupture. Now onto the Sven. They're going to put up a wall, slightly trying to protect him. Starstorm is still there. They're going to do a little bit of damage to the Mirana, but she's fine with the stick charges, and now the Clockwork's going to arrive, although he kind of overshoots the Shaker. Is fast enough to catch up, or at least let the Bloodseeker catch up, get the kill, and it's a nice 2-0 on the bottom lane for Mad Kings. Much, much needed for them. Gotta make sure the Sven isn't having a perfect time, although the CS is pretty close, actually, compared to the Sven Mirana. Gotta get some of that action for the Bloodseeker. Use that Rupture ASAP.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And Rupture is just one of those spells. You put Bloodseeker in the mid lane, yeah, because he can handle it. But also you want him to get that level 6. You want him to use that level 6 as many times as possible. Yeah, Clockwork. This didn't work out great for you last time. That was really close to being great, though, if that was the real Dazzle up there. He has a TP, obviously, but could have been pretty sick. There's another Rupture here on the Bloodseeker. Poor man's shield is holding for right now. Mirana is kind of on the roam as well, maybe looking for a setup on the Storm. No hookshot for a very long time, low level support Clockwork. Arrow really tough when there's an Observer Ward on the high ground. Next level warding. Super next level warding by the Dazzle. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think they know where the Mirana is. Sven's going to be farming in the meantime. And also in the meantime, we have Huskar doing standard Huskar things up towards top lane. Armlet done. Going to take a dip in the jungle. This is a really smart move. Love it when teams do this. Like, Juggernaut is probably the most frequently seen doing this, but, you know, get a little bit of an edge on your core. Get them to a point where they can jungle somewhat decently, and then give the farm to your support. And giving farm to a silencer is about as good as it gets. This guy needs the level so badly. Actually seen this a lot being done for Skywrath Mage. Seems like I always see it done when there's a Skywrath Mage. You don't always see this. Sometimes your Medusa or Anti-Mage needs to sit in that lane for a little while longer. You can see Sven is kind of doing that, but Shaker is unfortunately still having to deal with these heroes in this lane. Pepita can't really do all that much right now since he has no mana. Just Tranquils and no one coming in anywhere near him. Stinger will get a lot of experience on this lane, but he does have to be careful. The arrow that will be nowhere close. TPs are coming in the form of the Dazzle, and Chant Totem will keep him away from the Battery Assault. Excel's here, suddenly stuck in the Battery Assault. Only level 2 spell though. Storm Spirit's gonna arrive. Is there True Sight? Well, they know that there has to be a hero here because the Static Remnant hasn't popped over here. So just keep spamming it, and eventually you'll get the kill. There you go. Who needs True Sight? True Sight is for sissies. Just blindly cast spells until you get the kill. That was a questionable play there. I mean, you're going into a Shaker who is admittedly not the highest level, but Shaker is deceptively tanky. He is a strength hero after all. 28 strength is a decent amount for a level 3 hero. Can't just go in and expect to get killed, especially when your first spell misses in the arrow. If that hit, maybe they get the kill, but no. No, man, it's just not going to work. This Sladin guy has been going really aggressive in all the games that we've seen. By all the games we've seen, I mean that one other game that we saw. He's going to jack some experience, which is kind of nice. There's for some Rupture action on the Shaker. He's going to throw out a Fissure, try to get the Sven a little bit of space. He's going to try to chop through the trees, but the Cogs do catch him. Arrow will fly wide, and Sven's now on the run. He needs some backup, but there's no one coming in. He's just going to stand still and accept his fate. SNK now with a double. He'll lose his tower in the meantime. But still, this Bloodseeker is doing so much better in this game than the last. Again, he could actually hit creep still. His CS is probably much lower than the Storm. Not that much lower, actually. Because he's been ganking a lot. But he has some CS compared to the last game. This game actually is being led by the Mad King. So, I mentioned earlier, possible for them to just get run over in the lanes. Looks like that hasn't quite happened. This Sven also fairly low level, trying to do Ancients. He does have God Strength, which is nice, but he doesn't have many points in Cleave, so this is going to take a really long time. This experience, though, is going to be absolutely fantastic for him, as well as this Dazzle, if they're able to finish it up here. Observer Ward from the Dire doesn't quite see what's going on, but may have seen them go in that direction. Never mind, it's too late. Well, going for that maxed out Cleave. There's a Mask of Madness right around the corner. And the real big problem, though, is this. There's a level 11 Huskar on the map who so far has not played the game. He has been PvEing the entire time. And he's stacked. He's level freaking 11 versus the 7 of the Sven. He's farming the jungle. He's got his armlet, which is really all he needs, but Sange is purchasable for him right now. Let's see if he goes for that Sange right away. Or is there any chance that he goes for the Talisman of Evasion? I don't think so. But,
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
God. I'm talking you up, bro. I'm saying how amazing you're gonna be in the upcoming minutes, and you just go ahead and die to neutral creeps without buying out. That was totally on accident. And sword is gonna get pulled in. It's a low-level vortex. They do have the chain stun though. Leap, not gonna save you. Leap does not give you invulnerability frames anymore, guys. That was changed a couple patches ago. There is another target here. Moger is gonna be spotted by a random range creep who wants to initiate, and they will lose someone on top lane. Pepita is going to Broodmother the tower down. Not that bad, but feeding this Bloodseeker a lot, though. We saw last game, he was thinking about going for the Radiance, he wanted it, but ended up going for Blade Mail into Yasha, kind of out of desperation. This game probably isn't going to be one of those games. Relic is only 1,000 gold away from him. And he also still has this Huskar who, well, died once. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. He's actually going to go for the Talisman first. He's ready to go, man. Like, for Mad Kings, it is very possible to just group up around this Global Silence, which is now up, and just start making some, like, super aggressive plays versus towers, versus heroes, versus whoever they want. Just because they can't get away with it with this Huskar. Storm Spirit is pretty well farmed as well, but he doesn't have his Bloodstone yet. So he's got, like, you know, well, this, first of all, just to, you know, that doesn't do anything. He's working with a lot of gold, but not a lot of actual useful gold, if that makes any sense. Sven, he does have the Mask of Madness, but as much damage as the Sven does, it's still only level 1 God Strength. You do lose that armor, so trying to man fight a Huskar, not really sure how that's going to work out for him. More pauses. Sword's been camping out this bottom lane as well the entire time. He's pretty darn farmed for an offlane Mirana. Usually offlane Miranas don't get that much. Speaking of not getting that much, how is Dazzle so poor? Feels like he was involved in a lot of those kills, but I guess not really. Only 102. The Shadow Wave has been doing some serious damage. But this is what I want to see from Mad Kings. You got level 6 on the Silencer, you got level 6 on the Clockwork. In fact, you got level 7 on the Clockwork. I'm not really sure where his level 7 skill went. But if you do find someone, it should be a pretty easy kill. If we can ever play this game. Which, you know, we may not ever be able to play this game. There we go. So they'll smoke up. They do have the Moonlight Shadow. They have all their ults. Unfortunately, there's like no one remotely in the area. Shaker kind of. Pretty low level though. These supports from Mad Kings doing a lot better. Mostly because of that cycle out from the top lane for the Huskar. Like, Infamous have been kind of forced to lane, fully kind of passively lane with their support heroes. It's been costing them quite a bit. They don't have that additional hero to jungle, and the hero that is kind of jungling is Sven. Pre-Mask of Madness, not the fastest. Also have only a very low level cleave. So Mad Kings are doing pretty well for themselves, as long as they can keep this momentum up. Getting kills is a great way to start, but that's not what I mean by getting kills. That's also not what I mean by getting kills.
Savage wrecked.
I mean, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, right? You gotta go for them sometimes. I think Michael Scott said that. Storm Spirit has a regen rune, and he's just hunting. Waiting for that smoke to dispel. He's gonna find a 1 HP Huskar. Doesn't quite see him though because it is nighttime. Looks like he can't quite get there in time. Infamous know that they are kind of at a disadvantage right now. Still, they have no way of playing around that Global Silence. They will really struggle to get a way of playing around that Global Silence for a while now. So they just kind of have to try to find a hero that's expendable out in the open. You know, maybe a support wandering a little bit too far away from his allies, or maybe even a core wandering out too far from his allies. Okay, we're the support. They'll go for the support. Clockwork is going to get 100 to 0 pretty fast. Not that fast. Got him. Pretty sure you just could have attacked him from over here.
You can come out of that tin can anytime.
They don't Global Silence for that. They're hunting Svens and missing. This top lane slowly being ground down. Bloodseeker doesn't have a lot of mana here. It has a little bit less now. And Bloodright does a whole lot of nothing versus Plague Wards. Sword is doing what he can to kind of mirror this in the bottom lane. Does have a little bit of a head start here. You got a Storm Spirit to defend, and it looks like everyone is just going to piece out of there. Yeah, Infamous didn't smash their lanes. In fact, I would say, if anything, Mad Kings are the ones to come ahead in the laning phase. So Infamous do have to be a little bit more patient. Wait for these Blink Daggers. Blink Dagger on Earthshaker. Wait for a little bit more in the way of farm for the Sven. Does have that level 2 God Strength, though, as well as the Echo Saber, so he is more or less ready to go. They really have to be careful. If they get into a really large-scale fight Global Silence, Huskar, they're going to get wrecked by them. Patience is a virtue. Or you can just go in and kill everybody. They only have a couple points in Electric Vortex, just one, and they get silenced. Hookshot in. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. The Mirana already left. They will just abandon the Shaker, not knowing who's around the corner, and it is actually the Bloodseeker, so Hookshot back in. Well timed, but they also know that, hey, Global Silence is down, and uh-oh, Sven smells something. He's like, wait a minute, what the hell is that? Oh, Burning Spears actually does kill off Roche, and now Disarm with the Heaven's Halberd. Sven's gonna get annihilated. Oh, hesitation. He thought that he was fine, but the Burning Spears kills off Roche. Huskar gets a kill and an Aegis. Again, he's been PvEing the entire game. They have not done anything to even remotely stop this Huskar. They, I don't even think, knew that he had a Heaven's Halberd. Sven definitely knows right now, and if you're a Sven, it's pretty bad if you can't attack. I'm kind of astounded that the game is still just this close in the net worth department. It feels like Mad King should have a lot more advantage in this game. Well, Huskar with a double life, level 16.
For the twins.
The Hand of Infamous is sooner or later going to be forced. And maybe it's right now. They could probably take out the Aegis, but I don't think they could actually kill him. He's doing so much damage. What tower? Tier 1 tower? No, that's dead. No one hero can deal with this. They need to probably 3-man him. And the Sven, he's going for a BKB. It's a necessity for sure, but BKB definitely isn't a Blink Dagger, so as far as being able to insta-give the Huskar, good luck. You see now the Huskar is jumping into action. Just take down all the towers. Is this backdooring? I think it's technically backdooring, but who cares?
Wow!
Should be a very easy tower. Yeah, Sven's nowhere near. Storm is nowhere near. Now, tier 2 is something that you might want to defend. Also, those wards are not really going to be doing all that much. Storm is doing what he can. They did weave up a handful of heroes on top, but this tower is just taking so much damage. It is going to be 2-for-1 tower trade. Sven gets something on bot, but you gotta stop this, guys. You gotta do something about this soon. Storm's gonna do next to nothing. Snag a courier. Got him. He does have a haste rune, but he's not over here where Storm needs to be. Is there a Blink Dagger? There is gold for a Blink Dagger. Earthshaker isn't gonna purchase it yet. Sven is still going. He used God Strength for this. He is gonna make it so far even tower trade. Oh, but here comes the Huskar. There's a Force Staff out, there's a Shrine, there's a Grave. Pizza isn't gonna die immediately, but he's not looking too good. He's bleeding, he's burning, he's hook-shotted, and he's dead. Sven is going to return, but without God Strength. What can you really do? Blink Dagger, though, with the Echo Slam and the Global Silence. Are you kidding me? Who does that? They're all leaving. What? Nothing like forcing out a buyback, and then everyone leaves. So, the Echo Slam was pretty good, but Sven got silenced. They see the Venomancer buying back, and Storm is over here, teleporting to where? Where is he teleporting to? Fountain? Yeah, Fountain, okay. I think they should... I think they can get out. There's another fissure in this much time. They don't really have much catch. Storm Spirit, what level's your Vortex? It's level 3 at this point. He can go really far in, but I don't think it's going to be far enough to kill off a Huskar. And then kill him off again. But already the vast majority of the assets of Mad Kings have been used. They already Hookshot, they already Global Silence, they already Ruptured. So they don't really have many big spells left. So Infamous, you could bet, are going to try to go for this. I think Sven should just turn around. Shaker should probably position himself like right here and then go for a Fissure. Wait for Storm, teleport in, bottle, and then just blast all your mana out and try to get someone killed off. Like, Mirana's not too healthy. She does have a leap. I don't actually know. I actually don't know what is going to happen here. Alright, let's see. I'm pretty sure Huskar lives. Storm. Gonna complete his TP. Oh, there's a Blood Right going down. I did not see that. Okay. Well, the Blood Right going down means that they can't get into position to chase this. So, ultimately, 2 towers for 2 towers. Oh, TP in though. Shaker is gonna blink out of it, throw a Fissure to do nothing. And off to the south. Sven just wants to get in. Big Ball Lightning towards the Mirana. Is gonna get the kill. And in the back, though, it's the Sven. Needs some help. Too late. He's dead. Someone has to deal with this Huskar, guys. He's all alone. He does have a double life, though. It's now or never. You gotta YOLO it. And they will get one. The backup is coming in, but very slowly. They will get the kill, and they will back off. Rupture coming back soon. That Gale was nowhere close. It looks like they will take down the Mirana for the Sven, take down the Aegis. That's actually not that bad for Infamous, considering. Storm Spirit, 15 Bloodstone charges. Really needs that Orchid for the additional damage to get, you know, any one of his targets killed off. Huskar kind of was a gimme there with the Aegis, seeing as though he's been at like half HP for the entire game. This is a really smart move from Infamous now. You know that the enemy team just uses their Global Silence. They just use their Aegis, so odds are they're not going to be super eager to fight. And yeah, they don't have an Echo Slam, but they do have pretty much everything else they need, just because they have a Storm Spirit. Here we go. Ball Lightning in a million miles, and it's slightly off, but they do catch up to him. Fissure is there. Chain Stun is good, and they will take him down eventually. Rupture comes out onto Stinger. A lot of missed chances there with the Radiant. Stinger will just piece on out, and he will be fine. Hookshot is up, but okay, he arrowed there. Hookshot is up, but a little bit too far away. Unfortunately for Leo Style, got his regen jacked. Oh, they're coming in. There's the missile. Sees everyone, and Sven is pretty dead now, right? Vortex is going to help him. They're going to try to turn these around. He already got the God Strike off. He's trying to just fight it out. Even with the Grave on him, it's not enough. Global Silence is, again, crippling. Storm should be fine up against the fire of the Burning Spears, but they lose the Sven very quickly, and now they're going to lose Pepita as well. He has a Force Staff. He will be fine, unless he gets hit with this. Tell me you're not getting hit by that. Traded for the Bloodseeker. Mad Kings are taking slightly better trades across the board. I'm not really sure why Leo Style is here at half HP up against the Bloodseeker. Ill-advised. The Mad Kings are starting to lock down this map. A couple tier 2s are left. Probably not going to survive for very long. Seeing very little action coming out of the Sven. The BKB will help, but even if he had a BKB in the fight that just happened, does it really go much different? He got everything off. He was Graved, he was God Strength, and he still just got torn apart. Uh-oh. Yes. This is going to be unpleasant times for someone here. For the Dazzle, he does have a Grave. He does not have a TP, though. So he's just going to resign himself to his fate. Now they're going to change their target for Pepita. Force Staff already used 4 Burning Spears. I don't think is quite going to kill, although with the Battery Assault, it should. Now he's dead. They're just feasting on these Infamous heroes. They're looking for more, although in the back, way back, Leo Style picks off the Bloodseeker. That is going to slow down Mad Kings a bit. I think if they were really, really eager, they could still go for this tier 2, but I think that's, at this point, ill-advised without a Bloodseeker, that Rupture. Global Silence, not for another 20 seconds. It's not time to push. Poor troll. Storm and Sven aren't too far behind the Huskar. And Huskar has no Aegis, has no safe heroes on his team. He is an absolute monster, that's for sure, but it's impossible to see him go down. Especially, Huskars tend to go a little bit over-aggressive past their teammates. He has Bloodseeker, he has Clockwork, heroes that can kind of easily follow up. But, like, if any hero is going to make a mistake, it's going to be a hero that feels invincible. Is this a smoke play? Nope. It was almost a smoke play. Hey, it is a smoke play, kind of. Moonlight Shadow is out. Arrow is going to reveal everything. Hookshot still lands, though, on the Sven. He does have a BKB. He's disarmed. He's going to BKB to just take slightly less damage, turn around, and start going to work on the Huskar. Still not just yet. Echo Slam misses. Mostly on the Huskar. Is going to oh, God, map. Is going to separate the fight as the Global Silence does go down. What the hell was that arrow? Rupture, though, is out onto the Sven. He used his BKB. That's probably the most valuable thing Infamous have at the stage. His sword is just going in a little bit too far at that. To trade her own life for the Earthshaker. Now the Stormhammer goes up onto the Huskar. The damage from Sven, though, is pretty much next to nothing. Gets Force Staff back into his base. 7 charges of fire on him. He's just not regenerating fast enough. Storm Spirit's going to go really far in. Try to do it all by himself. He's running dry on mana. Will teleport out and should be fine. Sven did go down to the fire and dots. But that's Sven getting caught out there. Really costly for Infamous. Oh, he's gonna go in again. This time he has a TP, and this time he has some backup, but Storm doesn't do enough damage to actually kill off Huskar here. Shaker's gonna join in and very quickly realize he shouldn't have done that. Hook shot. Well, Force Staff is gonna bring the Clockwork very far in, actually. I bet he didn't expect that one. That was weird. I think he caught him like mid Force Staff, so he got like dragged like halfway through the Force Staff duration. Free kill on the Clockwork, that's something. And SNK pull, got the pull. Shaker's right around the corner. They do have the Shrine mana regen as well. And the Orchid does time out, but it'd still be a kill on the Bloodseeker. Wow, indeed. As Roshan is now up. Can they actually go for this one? Global Silence, not for another 40. And Sven, yeah, he's struggling to do the damage that he needs to do. But Roshan is not Huskar. They will be able to take him down pretty quick, actually. One sec, guys. Let me just fix this audio a little bit. Drop it. I think the game is a little bit too loud. I don't know if anyone's complaining about that, but I dropped it a little bit. It's loud in my ears. That's Orchid, soon to be a Bloodthorn. That is an incredible item, which apparently doesn't tell you what it does if you mouse over it. And apparently I can't open the shop like that. But Bloodthorn, being able to have that True Strike is absolutely massive. I mean, yeah, the crits are great, the silence, the damage, whatever. Well, but it's really all about that True Strike when you're dealing with Radiance and a Heaven's Halberd. And the one time Mirana lands an arrow and it's just not going to be followed up upon. Storm Spirit does force out a Moonlight Shadow.
Dazzle.
It's not nothing. But now we have a Huskar with the BKB. Well, yeah, Bloodthorn's pretty good, but BKB is slightly better. Mad Kings once again going to put themselves in an aggressive position. The big difference here, though, is that though they are very powerful, the Radiant side have an Aegis and Cheese. Aegis on Storm, crucially, and they'll take down the Mirana first thing. Global Silence does go out. Sladin is up against 3 heroes, though. He has Battery Assault going, but he's getting right-clicked by everyone and their mom. And I don't think there's an escape here for the Clockwork, Stormhammer, and the Beatdown. And that is an absolutely massive pickup there from Infamous for several reasons. First of all, they get 2 heroes for free. They don't expend the Cheese or the Aegis. They pull out the Global Silence without using any of their own ultimates. And they still have a BKB Huskar to deal with, but with no Global Silence, they actually have some reasonable way of dealing with him. It's possible if they want to. I'm not sure if they're going to feel comfortable enough to go for anything major here. But the door is open. Or at least you know that the Mad King side aren't going to be going aggressive for another 90 or so seconds. Because if Mad Kings ever go in without a global silence, that will be them getting way too overconfident, and odds are that is going to lead to them losing the game. So just wait for global silence as Mad Kings. It's bad, but it's not the end of the world.
Yes. I deserve this.
Venomancer is spotted. There are ogres covering him. Kind of. He's Dazzle in the area as well. Unfortunately, can't kill off that sentry. And this is the ward that's giving them vision. And I don't think Pepita knows about this one. Is this a smoke play? It looks like a smoke play. Okay, it's not. They'll see the observer ward. They'll clear it. There's no global silence. They're going in for this tower. It's really weak, so Infamous might not bother with this. It's also backdoor protected. There's the jump in. Lots of damage before the BKB. So already the Huskar's at half HP. Hookshot goes in onto the Sven. He does have a BKB and a cheese, but he's not actually attacking anyone. He's just taking so much damage. Does have the cheese. Now going to try to go for that Huskar's jump back in from the Storm Spirit. But again, this is a Huskar we're talking here. I don't know why the Sven isn't moving. He is under so much fire, though, and he's going to try to teleport out. I don't think that's going to work. Storm Spirit does have a little bit mana left, but he's running dry quickly as well. Global Silence is now back. And there's another Echo Slam coming up soon. Can they turn around and actually kill off this Huskar? Jump in, Enchant Totem, Echo Slam. They get him. And Storm Spirit, he pops right back up, though he's taking a lot of damage. He's silenced by the Blood Rite. Will go down, but he's up in just 6 seconds. Bloodstone doing some work there. SNK will get caught on the retreat. Looks like everyone else will leave. Storm Spirit is teleporting to the shrine, and here comes the lightning. Here comes the thunder. Here comes another kill. It is going to be an absolute bloodbath, but at the end of the day, despite losing the Sven and the Storm, I think Infamous can call that a win. Able to, once again, deal with another global silence on the Silencer. They don't buy back on anyone. Yeah, they lose their Sven, they use the cheese, use the Aegis, but man, that's what they're for. That timing of the fight was interesting, to say the least, from Infamous. I mean, you do know you're up against a 2-life Storm Spirit, so using Global Silence on the initial initiation is not going to do all that much. But waiting till like the super end of it for the Global Silence, really awkward. Since, yeah, you're silenced, you can still right-click. Whoa, Storm is going in. Bloodthorn on Mirana. Mirana does not have any way of defending herself against that, but does survive nonetheless, just not enough damage there. Leo style, tagged with an arrow. Uh-oh. Ping, 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 ping. Right clicks, ball lightning, it's just enough damage to get the kill, and Leo style gets nailed. The rest of the team over in the mid lane will retreat from the Huskar. And Storm Spirit, yeah, he's up pretty soon, but that is 2 kills in as many minutes.
Incoming!
On that Storm Spirit. He just has a lot of net worth. He's worth a lot to the Mad King side. And it seems like Infamous forgot to kill this Observer Ward. I mean, they had a fight, so I guess they just forgot.
Whoa, what'd I miss?
Leo Styles feeling himself right now. A little bit too much, perhaps. If you kill off the Mirana, though, you definitely take down the tier 2. Might be much different of a game. See this Venomancer? 75 damage. The magic resistance isn't huge in this game, but does want to be, at least as much as he can, a relevant right-clicker to deal with that Huskar. Pita tagged with some silencer abilities. There is a Storm teleporting in, and oh my god, Stinger's already in. Fissure onto just 1, though, and now the Huskar with his BKB just laying it into the Earthshaker. Desperately needs some help. Hookshot will cancel a TP, but they'll lose SNK in the background as Storm Spirit is again just going off. Now the BKB is down the Huskar. He's slow to a crawl thanks to the Gale, and Sven wants in, but he is disarmed. He doesn't have any support either because they're all silenced. They will force staff out for the Huskar. Sven is going to try to give chase, jump in. Arrow will slow him down even further. Huskar still alive, but no, will fall eventually. And now everything's falling apart for Mad Kings. They're going to lose another in the Clockwork. Storm has half a mana pool left. Doesn't have any vision though, so he's not going to go up the hill. But it costs them just a Shaker to gain 3 heroes. And the Bloodseeker did jack all in that last fight. Just got nailed by the Storm Spirit first thing. While the Huskar, yeah, got the kill on the Shaker, but used all the gas in his tank. And the vast majority of his BKB to just get that one kill, and that is not the kill you really want to aim for. If it's Sven or Storm, go for it, but Earthshaker, definitely not. Earthshaker did not get his Echo Slam out either, so he still has that if a fight is going to break out here. It will fall back, though, Infamous. And think about going for this Shrine. They pinged it. It's not vulnerable yet. We have ourselves a real game now, guys. Roshan timer still a mystery here. So we can see this Huskar is really feeling the lack of support, defensive support heroes on his side. He was low for so long in that fight. He was running away for so long in that fight. Like, started over here, ended up like over here when he died. If he had a Dazzle or an Oracle or something, he could have just stood his ground right here, kept the fight, where he could just hit anyone he wants. 1 HP, no problem. Just keep on hitting him. Uh-oh, Sword. Is this an Echo Slam kill? It's gonna be kind of. Whoa, here comes Leo style. You don't need an Echo Slam for that. And you're dead. Sword killed off by the ganking Earthshaker with no Echo Slam expend. Luckily for Mad Kings, Roshan isn't gonna immediately respawn. So it's not the entire nightmare scenario. But they are definitely not in as great of a spot as they were before. As much farm as this Huskar has, it does seem like he's kind of the only one doing anything in these fights. I mean, Silencer, Clockwork, they're both doing their job as well, but what is that, like 2 fights in a row now where Bloodseeker just hasn't gotten anything done? Mirana feels like she's not getting that much done either. Has a lot of right-click damage if she's able to find that distance, but it's really hard to keep your distance when you're up against a Storm Spirit. That's kind of Storm's entire shtick. It's about time for a pause, but I think you gotta have a pause every like 10 minutes ish, or else everything starts to break down. Storm is definitely overperforming. It's also the fact that Dazzle has been able to get Graves off in like every single one of these fights, which is really weird. Because you're up against Global Silence, you're up against Bloodseeker, Mirana, and Huskar, all of whom, even Clockwork actually, all of whom can kill off a Dazzle in the duration of that Global Silence. He doesn't have any defensive items himself, like no Glimmer, no Force Staff, or Ghost Scepter, or anything like that, so the fact that Excel is getting a Grave off every single fight is actually astounding. If there's ever a fight where he gets picked off first, or if he's, for whatever reason, unable to get a Grave off, that'll be a fight that Mad King should be able to stomp all over, but that hasn't really happened yet. Ping, ping, ping. They have a read there's someone in the Shrine area. They are correct, but going up the high ground like that is a bad idea. You can see how confident this Storm and Shaker are, though. Just wandering around enemy territory. 1 Observer Ward, giving them quite a bit of intel, and a target. Oh, Storm. Does he want to go for this? Target spotted again. You can tell he's thinking about it, man. He so wants to go for this Mirana. And with that scan, I think Mirana should be fine. I mean, what? Like, you see a scan like that, it's got to be either Storm or Shaker. Like, no one else can really be doing that. Sven, what is he going for? He's got a Lincoln Sphere in the pipeline. Had a Daedalus queued up a little while ago. Lincoln Sphere is not amazing here. I mean, it's really good up against Rupture, but other than that, it's kind of okay value. It does seem like Sven needs to be able to do that damage. I don't think we're ever going to get to a point, since Huskar has a Heaven's Halberd and a Plate Mail, where Sven's able to just like insta-give him with God Strength, or even like drop him down to half. That's just not feasible. Trying to out-sustain is, that's a bold move. Don't get with that arrow, that's a bad idea. Double damage is up on the Storm Spirit, though. The Global Silence is up as well. Bottom lane is pushing. Clockwork's doing what he can to deal with this. But Storm, I was going to say, like, whoever shows up to defend this is going to be jumped on and probably killed by Storm. Arrow of farming. Teleport back in towards Roche. Dire, jump on the Dazzle. I may have cursed him there. Does get his Grave off, and now they get a stun onto the Huskar before the BKB. Global Silence is out, but still the Sven is swinging, and they kill up the Huskar. It's 100 seconds down the tubes. SNK on his way out will survive. Moger as well. Everyone else will live. But a Dazzle for a Huskar, I'll take that trade every day of the week. Now Roshan is easy pickings for the Infamous side. And the Huskar, so long until he's back up. 75 with another 3-minute cooldown on his buyback, which apparently he expended in the last fight. I don't think I mentioned that. My apologies. Aegis on the Storm. Sven is not getting 100 zeroed, so it'll be very, very interesting to see if he ever gets chain stun to kill without him getting a chance to cheese. I don't think it's actually possible. Like, they have an arrow, but there's a Lincoln Sphere, so I'm pretty sure Sven just has essentially an Aegis copy in that cheese. Like, it's gonna work every single time. And now Infamous, no Dazzle, no problem. Just need to find someone with some vision. Off to the side though, Stinger is going to get jumped on, caught in the silence, but it's going to be the Clockwork taking most of the damage. Arrow flies through onto the Storm Spirit. He's not getting dropped just yet. Radiant's doing a little bit of damage, but he's still alive. And he's going to go in and use the Aegis as aggressively as he can. Never mind, he's going to back off. Oh, he's going to jump right back in for this Mirana. Another pullback and another kill. Leo style, going to absorb that blood right with BKB. Sven doesn't give a damn. He's going to cheese up. 10 seconds left till Huskar. Lincoln Sphere gonna block last word, I guess. More blood rights on the floor. Sven is going to back off, but Storm's gonna go right back in. Bloodseeker again. She's getting nailed to the floor, and Huskar, I'm not really sure if you want to be doing that. Pops BKB. Oh, that is. Okay. Okay. What is going on? They got him. They got him. I'm not really sure what the hell happened at the ending there, but yeah, if you BKB like that and you're unable to actually find anyone to jump on, it's not really gonna do all that much. That was a rather interesting and abrupt ending to that fight. Oh, Lincoln's for Halberd. Good point, guys. Hey, you know what? I can only catch so many things. Get Lincoln's, block Halberd. Smart chat. Chat won me like 50, right? That's about, seems like the score. Infamous are going to 2-0 Mad Kings. And I think, I don't want to like put blame on any one thing, because obviously this game was long enough and it was close enough that you could say that Mad Kings had a shot, but it did seem like the Bloodseeker pick or play, whatever you want to say, was just not effective. Like, Rupture got a couple of kills in the early game, but after that, he did nothing. Like, he has Radiance, and Radiance is great if you're able to stay alive in those fights, but always, first thing, he's dead. Can't do anything, and it's at that point, just fight around Huskar and hope the Global Silence is good enough, and once Infamous pick up their anti-Global Silence tools, these BKBs, then there's not much you can do outside of that. Like, Global Silence just fails to be effective. Sword had quite a bit of farm, just didn't see him use it. Same thing for this Bloodseeker, and it did seem like all the farm picked up on all these other heroes on the other end of Infamous. They were actually using it quite well. 4 stabs for sure, a major all-star for the Infamous side. Guys, this is the end of the first best of 3 on the day. Got Youth Fury going up against DC South America, which is scheduled for, what time is it right now? It's 8:18. 9. Wait. 6. Yeah, it's scheduled for an hour from now. I'm not sure if we're just going to go or if we're going to wait, but I'm sure you guys can figure that out. Either way, thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure casting these games for you guys. If you guys enjoyed it, well, stick around because we got more games in the future. Hit me up on Twitter at Mike Loris, or follow Twitch stream or whatever, you know, all of that good jazz. I'll see you guys in up to an hour, I guess, for the next game.